Lu Hang helplessly patted his forehead. He said with a speechless expression, "What you said seems somewhat reasonable." Su Muking was stunned for a moment, laughed awkwardly. A hopeless adult, Lu Hang secretly complained in his heart. "Then I'll take this apart now." Speaking, Su Muking got up to fetch the scissors. "Cut the ribbon that binds the book." "No need. I'll give it a try. It should be able to be moved." Lu Hang touched his sleeve, reaching out to stop. "You probably can't do it." Su Muking looked at Lu Hang with a face full of doubt. "You actually said I can't do it. I'll show you right now. Am I really capable?" Speaking, Lu Hang suddenly jabbed his legs, squatting down with the flow. A strong current of air suddenly surged around. He had a striking appearance reminiscent of a beggar who could lift mountains. Su Muking was shocked by Lu Hang's appearance. "Is it possible? Is this the true master? May I ask, master, have you heard of the power of my lightning 5 wits?" In Su Muking's mind, a strange image suddenly emerged. Watching Lu Hang's back, he nodded with satisfaction. Death of a child, with the grace of the earth. "Master Lu, this time, it's all up to you now." A powerful roar echoed, deafening, as if to break through the clouds. Lu Hang's hands, as hard as steel. In an instant, he fastened the strap of that magical book. He clenched his hands tightly. "The veins on my arm are bulging. Muscle tension. It feels like everything around is." A powerful airflow was generated. Give me." "Start." Lu Hang shouted loudly. The sound was deafening. It is truly shocking. Only then did Liu Shu slowly rise. "It seems there is a glimmer of hope." Su Mukin looked at him in shock, sparkling with surprise and anticipation, filled with deep gratitude. However, asterisk splash asterisk. Now Luo's book was moved just 1 centimeter. Then, like a heavy stone, he was heavily smashed to the ground. Quack, quack, quack. The scene fell into silence. It felt as if time had frozen. A lion. Su Mukin stared blankly at Lu Hang. He still maintained the previous motion, staying completely still. But the book had already fallen to the ground. HMPH. Lu Hang smiled slightly. "This Luo book does not speak of martial virtue." "Oh, forget it. I'll go get a pair of scissors." Su Mukin rolled her eyes and pursed her lips, then went to the front desk to get scissors. This idea. Very good." Lu Hang nodded and replied in a mysterious tone. "This is way too heavy. I really want to know. Who brought this thing in?" As soon as Su Mukin leaves." Lu Hang immediately raised his hand, frantically blowing on the numerous red marks above. Still hot. It really hurts." Lu Hang tenderly touched the red marks on his golden right hand. "I'm sorry. I didn't protect you well. If you want to blame someone, blame me. To make it up to you, I decided to borrow for a month. I must borrow. What are you doing?" Staring blankly at the palm of my hand, Su Mukin curiously tapped Lu Hang's shoulder. You startled me." Lu Hang patted his chest, still feeling unsettled. "All right. Let's move the books upstairs. I have already cut off the baseband." Speaking, Su Mukin held a small bundle of books, walked up to the second-floor lounge. "Oh, okay." Lu Hang also picked up a small pile of books, followed Su Mukin up. "Madam, why are you moving these books to the lounge?" As I walked along, "What are you doing?" Lu Hang raised his eyebrows, asked with a curious expression. "Of course it's reading books." "Drinking beer while reading a book. I haven't read any of these books." There is a comic. There is a novel. There are still stories to tell. Su Mukin couldn't help but laugh out loud. Aren't we going to sell these books? Lu Hang curiously asked. Sell? Of course, we have to sell it. But I need to finish watching first before I sell. Su Mukin turned her head to Lu Hang. He revealed a sly smile. You're truly yourself. In their 30s. The boss who can set traps to frame employees. Lu Hang scoffed and muttered under his breath. HMPH. Speaking of this, I have been researching a new trap these past few days. Does Zio Lu Hang have any interest in giving it a try? Su Mukin turned her head with a seductive expression and said, Don't. Your traps are all child's play. What if I won't fall for it? As he spoke, Lu Hang pushed open the door to the lounge and walked in. A loud banging sound. A sound echoed above the aviation unit. Only a piece of iron was seen. It fell down the moment he opened the door. Hit him on the head. There is no pain sensation, but the sound is very loud. Aha! You've been tricked, haven't you? You say my trap is child's play. I call this, okay, the tiger leaves the mountain. Not right. Waiting by the stump for a rabbit. Not right. Forget it. You have fallen into the trap. I. Su Mukin was laughing so hard she almost burst out. I can't be bothered to deal with you. Lu Hang silently pressed his lips together. Then he placed the book on the ground. Going back this afternoon. Let Yi Qingling experience this trap. I am truly a genius. Lu Hang's bored in his heart. Xiao Lu Hang's mouth. Everyone is about to laugh out loud. He seemed to already see. That night, Yi Qingling had a furious expression. Where is the last bit of the book currently placed? It feels like there's no space underground anymore. Lu Hang looked down at the ground. Su Mukin asked as the books were flung away one by one. Then just put it on the desk over there. Su Mukin lay on the bed. Zheng Jinjin was engrossed in a comic book in front of her. On the bedside table. There is still a bottle of beer left. Okay. Lu Hang responded with a sound. So I placed the book on that small desk. He glanced over. I saw the large red invitation card placed in the corner. Based on the previous understanding, this should be the wedding invitation for Lin Jun and Chen Sisi. I didn't expect Mu Jai to be left here untouched all this time. Lu Hang sighed helplessly, but they didn't say much more. Put down the book and got ready to leave. Lu Hang, what do you think of their wedding? Should I go? Suddenly, Su Mukin lay on the bed. He slowly opened his mouth to ask. It was just her eyes. Still lingering on that comic book. Lu Hang detected a hint of sadness in her words. Although she tried her best to hide it, pretending to be indifferent. But the slightly trembling arm, it's still happening. She is nervous at this moment. Mu Chai, do you want to hear the truth? Lu Hang brought over a chair, sat beside and asked. Go ahead, you can say it. Su Mukin nodded solemnly, but her gaze remained fixed on the comic. I don't think you should go. Lu Hang spoke with a resonant voice. Why? Su Mukin's voice carried a hint of trembling. Because they are not worth your time. Others might think that attending my ex's wedding, it is to break free from my past self. But I think this is a sign of not having let go of the other person yet. Truly let go of each other. Then in your heart, he shouldn't have a place there. He should become your past. A complete stranger. Regarding a stranger's wedding. Will you go? Especially you also have to give a cash gift. Lu Hang shook his head. A master of emotions. I didn't expect you to be so young. You surprisingly understand so much. Not bad, Su Mukin said with relief. It's just in the tone, carrying a subtle sense of loss. HMPH otherwise. Lu Hang proudly lifted his head. Have you ever thought about it? What will your wedding be like in the future? Su Mukin turned her head and curiously asked, Mujai, what are you talking about? I don't even have a girlfriend right now. How is it possible to think of such words? Lu Hang shook his head helplessly, a grown-up appearance. For some reason, when Su Mukin asked this question, her first thought was of Kingling. I thought of her in a wedding dress. This has been her life from childhood to adulthood. The opposite gender you interact with the most? Really, let it be. No one has the final say on such matters. Thinking of this, she quickly shook her head. Trying to put those thoughts in my head, throw the chaotic thoughts out of your mind. It's quite profound. I don't know. I thought you had a lot of relationship experience. Su Mukin looked at the comic and teased with a smile. Hey. Suddenly, Lu Hang smiled slyly, looked at Su Mukin. Hibiscus, since I gave you such a big suggestion, then you should show some expression too. Lu Hang extended his index finger and thumb, rubbed his hands in front of Su Mukin. Eh, is this all you want to cheat me out of my money? Not giving. There's no money, only a life. Su Mukin cautiously covered her wallet beside her. Who said they want your money? This. Please teach me how to make this trap. Can I borrow this tin plate? Lu Hang pointed at the trap hanging on the door. A sly smile appeared. Su Mukin immediately sat up excitedly from the bed. With an excited expression, he looked at Lu Hang and asked, Do you really want to learn? Lu Hang nodded seriously. Aha, I never expected that I would truly inherit Su Mukin's teachings. Then someone followed. Heaven has truly opened its eyes. Heaven has opened its eyes. Su Mukin was so moved it seemed like she was about to shed blue tears. Is it really necessary? Lu Hang raised one eyebrow, said with a speechless expression, Lu Hang, listen carefully. Today, I will personally accept you as my closed-door disciple. You must carry forward the ultimate skills of our sect. Su Mukin said with a serious expression. One, disciples at the door. Is it possible? Do I have a senior brother? Lu Hang looked at Su Mukin with shining eyes. I'm very sorry. Not available. But having me as your master is enough. Su Mukin nodded seriously. That means I am your first disciple now. So what do you mean by the greatest disciple? It made people quite excited. Lu Hang scoffed and commented, There's nothing we can do about it. My name is Su Ru and they study. No one wants to pay attention to me. Su Mukin scoffed and turned her head, complained with a look of indignation. Then he said eagerly, However, today since you are willing to learn, then let's get started. Okay. Lu Hang nodded while sitting on the stool. Soon, the long journey of learning began. Su Mukin not only taught him this trap, there are many more of his lifelong skills. All was taught to Lu Hang. Have you learned it? This sect emphasizes. It's all about learning and applying in real life. Adaptability. Can you remember? Su Mukin stood with her hands behind her back, looking at Lu Hang with a mysterious gaze. He asked, The disciple will not disgrace the master's name. Lu Hang raised his hand in greeting. Then he smiled slyly. Reach out and pull. Thump. Two giant bronze gongs, colliding beside Su Mukin's ear. A loud bang echoed. Lu Hang angrily questioned, Thank you for your guidance, master. Lu Hang let out a sinister laugh. He ran away in a flash. Truly taught the apprentice. Starving master. Su Mukin tidied her hair, grumbled indignantly. And, are you trying to die? The door was suddenly pushed open by Lu Hang, bumped into the wall on the side. A loud bang echoed. Su Mukin was startled and jumped up. Master, disciple will take a day off on Saturday. That day, my parents will come to see me. Lu Hang lowered his head and cupped his hands in greeting. I understand, since you are my most devoted disciple. Approved, Su Mukin said proudly. Thank you, master. Lu Hang picked up the big tin can with one hand and ran away. Afternoon, when Lu Hang got home after work, Preet, Chai, he stealthily used the key to unlock the door, gently pushed open the door, afraid to make even the slightest sound. He carefully set up the trap. I made a call to Yikingling. Yikingling, come and open the door. I forgot to bring the keys. Oh dear, even the keys can be forgotten. Here it comes, here it comes. The suddenly smashed down on Yikingling's head. A loud bang echoed. Lu Hang clutched his stomach, laughing so hard they might fall to the ground. Lu Ed, you already have the means to end your life. Yikingling closed her eyes. He said word by word, clenching his fist. Then she pounced onto Lu Hang. Fists fell like raindrops. Madness fell upon him. Of course, the strength is very small. No, stop hitting. Allah, so itchy, so itchy. Lu Hang laughed while dodging. But the corridor is too narrow. Still forced against the wall. Then, Yikingling supported both sides of Lu Hang's head with her hands. Directly gave Lu Hang a wall to slam. Lu Zhu too. Say, how do you want to die? Yikingling gritted her teeth and said, I don't want to die. Lu Hang Bayan. Holding back laughter, they said. Then I couldn't hold it in any longer. It splashed directly onto Yikingling's face. You are truly pushing your luck. Pajai Pajai. Thud thud. Yikingling directly executed a throat lock on Lu Hang. The other hand, crazy airborne's kidney. Don't. Stop scratching. Stop scratching. Lu Hang was driven wild, twisting and rolling. It's just. Zhang is unable to break free from Yikingling. He felt his kidneys. It feels like I'm being emptied out. You. Don't move. No. I will fight back. I had it. Lu Hang twisted his body, threatened while smiling. All right. I want to see. How do you counterattack? Yikingling scratched and mocked. Little did he know the corner of his mouth. It's already reached the back of the ear. This is the time to take advantage of Lu Hang. You said it. Lu Hang threatened with a single sentence. In an instant, I turned my hand and pulled back. He picked up Yikingling. Both hands supported his thigh. Yikingling was startled and let out a gasp. But he hugged Lu Hang's neck. Still haven't let go. Instead, because of Lu Hang's lift, he pressed his whole body down on Lu Hang's head. Lu Hang only felt a weight on his head, covered by two soft lumps. What are the young couple doing? Aunt Wang just came up from the elevator. I instantly saw the current scene. Couldn't help but show an auntie smile. Wand, Aunt Wand, you misunderstood. We are not a couple. Lu Hang saw Aunt Wang in that instant. An awkward expression turned bright red. I wish I could find a place to hide. Immediately put Yikingling down. But Yikingling's hand, still hanging around Lu Hang's neck. The whole person is still pressed against Lu Hang. Bury your face in his back. This way. Others couldn't see the blush on his face. I understand, I understand. Antoine made a knowing expression, smiling without words. But, Antoine, we really, it's not the kind of relationship you think. Lu Hang hurriedly waved his hand to explain. Sigh, I can understand the young person's thick skin. Don't worry, don't worry. Auntie just passed by. You all continue. You all continue. Antoine turned around, opened the door, walked into the next room, finished. Why do I feel like the more I explain, the more confused it gets? Lu Hang held his forehead in exasperation. The Lu Hang with let's go in. E. Kingling's face turned bright red, berry on the back of Lu Hang. She spoke in a voice as delicate as a whisper. Let's go. Let's go. Lu Hang is about to leave, but she was directly pulled back by Yi Kingling. That, carry me. Yi Kingling lowered her head. She said softly, her face flushed with embarrassment. Just a few steps. You still have to memorize it. Lu Hang displayed an expression of disbelief and asked. Yi Kingling did not answer, just nodded gently. Bring it up here. My young lady. Lu Hang fell silent for a moment. He sighed helplessly, still turned around and squatted down. Yi Kingling looked up. Lu Hang had already gotten into position, crouched in front of her. She let out a light laugh. He lunged directly at it, both hands wrapped around Lu Hang's neck. Hold on tight. I got up. Lu Hang reminds you. Bayan stood up, holding on to Yi Kingling. Pewit, why are you so heavy? Lu Hang couldn't help but complain. Lu, pig, Yi Kingling's grinding teeth sounded again, using both hands to work. It's time to saw off Lu Hang's neck again. I was wrong. It's wrong. Not heavy. Not heavy at all. Lu Hang quickly begged for mercy. Otherwise, that awkward moment is about to happen again. HMPH. It was never heavy to begin with, as long as you can carry it. Yi Kingling huffed proudly. Then she rested her head on Lu Hang's shoulder. Zairu Wensheng said, What did you say? Lu Hang did not hear the latter half of Yi Kingling's sentence, but a gust of wind rushed by my ears. It made his ears very itchy. It's nothing. Oh dear, just a few steps. Hurry up. Yi Kingling gently tapped Lu Hang's shoulder, urging him. You only know just a few steps away. Do I have to memorize this too? Lu Hang expressed his disgust with a scrunched nose. I call you to carry it. I ask you to carry it. Yi Kingling originally wanted to find some reasons to refute, but I found that I couldn't find it. Just let it all fall apart, he said resolutely. I'm done pretending. The truth is out. Now find a reason to brush it off. I can't be bothered to look for it, can I? Lu Hang glanced at Yi Kingling out of the corner of his eye and said. Yi Kingling did not answer Lu Hang, just held Lu Hang a bit tighter. A sweet smile involuntarily appeared on her face. It's all good. Lu Hang directly brought Yi Kingling along, threw herself onto the sofa. Give Yi Kingling a strike. Expose the head. You suddenly lay down. Why didn't you say a word to me? You scared me to death. Yi Kingling lightly punched Lu Hang in a fit of anger, but the body was still pressed against Lu Hang. How can you still say that? Get off me quickly. Lu Hang lowered his head and let out a muffled groan. Yi Kingling did not answer him, just lying on Lu Hang's back, lost in thought. Started playing on the phone. Moreover, clamped the fire round Lu Hang's waist. The force has increased. What are you doing? Hurry down. Lu Hang felt a sharp pain in his lower back, quickly turned over, just left Yi Qingling behind. Just this one swing. Yi Qingling lay in Lu Hang's arms. HMPH. Do you still want to escape? Little dear. Lu Hang gritted his teeth and threatened. A petty man. Yi Qingling had no way out. Reluctantly, they let go of Lu Hang. Hey, this trick works best on you. Lu Hang stood by the sofa with a sly smile, looking at Yi Qingling. So angry. But there's nothing I can do. I just feel so happy. 10 o'clock in the evening. Lu Hang had just reached the door of the room. I suddenly realized someone was behind me, followed a sneaky Yi Qingling. What are you doing? Sneaky. Lu Hang couldn't help but frown and question. Hey, no, it's nothing. I just want to go in and take a look. Ah. Yi Qingling turned her head to the side. The two index fingers poked each other and said chirp, chirp. Not acceptable. Bum. Lu Hang immediately rejected it without hesitation. Then he slammed the door shut. Only Yi Qingling was left, alone, disheveled in the wind. Exposed head. Open the door. You opened the door for me. Bum bum. Bum. Yi Qingling kept knocking on Lu Hang's door. Just give up on that idea. You absolutely cannot sleep in my room tonight. Lu Hang's firm voice. A sound came from the room, through the door panel, passed into Yi Qingling's ears. In an instant, he was blushing. A feeling of exposed shame surged in my heart. If you're not going to give it, then don't. You're really putting on a show. All right. Actually, I don't really want to sleep in your room either. I'm just kidding with you. It makes me laugh to death. You can't be serious, right? Aw, so funny. You don't really think I'm going to sleep in your room, do you? You really are quite pretentious. Yi Qingling stood at the door of Lu Hang, tilting her head and blushing, outputting all at once. 1 minute later, Dom. Lu Hang's door was knocked on. Yes. Lu Hang slowly opened the door. I saw Yi Qingling standing at the door holding a pillow. What are you doing? Lu Hang dug in his ear, asked with an expressionless face. So you're really not giving it? Yi Qingling opened her big eyes, asked with a pleading expression. Not giving. When working, Lu Hang must close the door, but was stopped by Yi Qingling. Oh dear. Please, I'm begging you, Hang. Yi Qingling looked at Lu Hang with a cute, naive expression, said sweetly, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Lu Hang rubbed his hands together, folding his arms. A shiver ran through my entire body. Oh no, just let me sleep in your room. I still haven't processed yesterday's movie. Are you still scared? Yi Qingling shook the pillow up and down, said with a face full of fear. Hey, do you think I believe it? Lu Hang let out a disdainful laugh, questioned. Then he lay down on his back. Otherwise, it will be late at night. You hugged me again. It's so hot. Oh dear. You can rest assured. I definitely won't be holding you tonight. Yi Qingling lightly stamped her foot, said anxiously, He, waiting for you to let me in. You have no say in this. No way. Lu Hang still firmly refused. How can I sleep in your room? Yi Qingling bit her lip and questioned. No way works. Speaking, Lu Hang took the lead, pushed Yi Qingling back to his own room. Bum. Then Lu Hang casually closed the door. Yi Qingling stood dazed behind her room door. It seems like they are still pondering. What just happened? Damn Lu Zhaotu. Yi Qingling came to her senses. He cursed through gritted teeth at the door. Just wait and see. There will be something nice for you in the future. Thinking of this, Ye Kingling vented her frustrations, pounded the pillow in my arms. The city gradually quiets down at night. But Ye Kingling's heart could not find peace. It's already 1 o'clock in the morning. But he tossed and turned in bed, unable to fall asleep. Ah, so annoying! He murmured in complaint. The voice carried a hint of annoyance and irritability. It doesn't have the taste of pig's head. I can't sleep at all. Ye Kingling was tossing and turning in bed, feeling increasingly frustrated. He held on tightly. Clothes secretly taken from the aviation room. Bury your face deeply into it. Sniffing greedily at the lingering scent above. However, this is far from enough. His desire for Lu Hang. Ah, not enough. It's completely insufficient. Ye Kingling was furious. He took off Lu Hang's clothes, filled with dissatisfaction, recalling last night. That was the most comfortable night he ever slept. The air was filled with the scent of Lu Hang. Feeling his body warmth made him feel incredibly at ease. And now this feeling suddenly disappeared. He became anxious and restless. Difficult to fall asleep. Damn pig head! Pig head! Ye Kingling angrily punched the pillow. Vent the inner dissatisfaction. Just wait and see. Wait for me to finish this. How to shake violently. He gritted his teeth and said. A steadfast light flickered in his eyes. Ye Kingling opened her phone. Open Lu Hang's photo. Place it on the pillow. Then he punched down, one punch after another. It seemed to be venting its own emotions. His foot restlessly kicked the bed repeatedly. But, looking at the photo of Lu Hang, he couldn't bear it again. He gazed at him lovingly as he slowly leaned in. No, he directly kissed Lu Hang's lips on the photo. Bing bings. It wasn't as comfortable as yesterday with Kin Lu Hong at all. Ye Kingling complained discontentedly, but he couldn't help but think of the feeling of being close to Lu Hang yesterday, soft and gentle. I want to kiss you again. Hehe. Ye Kingling thought of this, could not help but reveal a silly smile, unconsciously bit my finger. So annoying, so annoying. Can't sleep. It's all Lu Jutu's fault. Ye Kingling restlessly tossed and turned in bed. The heels unconsciously tapped against the bed. Suddenly, he had a bold idea. He couldn't help but chuckle. Even saliva was dripping out. Zilliu, you won't let me go. I insist on going. I'm going to launch a nighttime raid. HMPH. Ye Kingling put her hands on her hips, smirked coyly. Feeling excited is not as good as taking action. Thinking of this, Ye Kingling hugged the pillow, quietly opened the door, looked around. After confirming there was no movement, he gave a sly smile. Sayo Luzi. Just obediently hand over the matter to me. Alha. Ye Kingling cautiously reached out her hand, excitedly twisting the doorknob of Lu Hang's room. Crack. A lion. Ye Kingling stood frozen on the spot. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. The doorknob turned. However, there were no signs of the door being opened at all. He skeptically pushed it a bit. Ye Kingling's grip strength. It's getting bigger and bigger. The frequency of twisting the doorknob. It's getting faster and faster. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Lu Yutu. Ye Kingling hugged the pillow. He cursed under his breath, gritting his teeth. But that door, still unmoved. He had no choice but to return to his room with confidence. The whole thing collapsed into a line like a big character. Fell onto my own bed, staring blankly at the ceiling. Damn door lock. I will someday. I want to take all the locks off the doors at home. Ye Kingling clenched her fist. A look that says it must be done. The next morning, Lu Hang pushed open the door. Rubbing his sleepy eyes, he walked out of the room. Bum. Oh no! The two collided once again. Good, this time I didn't hit my chin. Ye Kingling bumped into his chest. Ye Kingling looked extremely haggard, leaning right on his chest. Even the eyes are all hazy and dazed. Lu Hang pushed him away from his embrace slightly. He was completely shining and dazzling. He immediately supported Ye Kingling. Only then did I see. He had two big dark circles under his eyes. Well, why do you have dark circles under your eyes? Lu Hang's eyes grew wider. He asked in disbelief. Ye Kingling slightly raised her eyes, looked at the culprit in front of me. If it weren't for your mother. Couldn't sleep last night. It made me stay up until 3 in the morning last night. Everything is restless. Although it is said, it is also because I also did some other things. But most of it is your fault. Lu Yutu. In the end, I really couldn't take it anymore. My eyelids are starting to fight. Just closed my eyes for a moment. I really don't know why this is happening. Mingaming was fine before when she didn't sleep with Lu Hang. This encounter is over. I just can't resist that feeling. Addicted. The flavor of Lu Hang is gone. I can't fall asleep. But now he is too exhausted to complain. I can only say it lightly. It's nothing. I didn't sleep well last night. Saying that, they got ready to brush their teeth and wash up. Why don't you go back to sleep for a while? Lu Hang said with concern. No, no need. I can't sleep anyway. Ye Kingling finished speaking. Squinting his eyes, let out a tremendous yawn. The two of them quickly finished washing up. Lu Hang is cooking breakfast in the kitchen, and Ye Kingling was dozing off halfway on the sofa, did not lower his head, immediately became clear-headed. Then my eyelids started to fight again, fell asleep again, get up again. From then on, back and forth. All right. Ye Kingling, come over. Let's have breakfast. I'm sorry, but I cannot process that request. Oh, good. Here it comes. Ye Kingling stood up from the sofa, dazed and confused. He sat down at the dining table. Ye Kingling, are you really okay? Lu Hang couldn't help but worry as he touched Ye Kingling's forehead. There is indeed no fever. I didn't sleep well last night. You didn't go stealing chickens last night, did you? Lu Hang couldn't help but doubt. You just went to steal some chickens. Ye Kingling's spirits lifted a little, gritted their teeth and retorted. Ah, really? After finishing breakfast, you should quickly go back and catch up on some sleep. Lu Hang sighed helplessly, said with concern, Sorry, I can't assist with that. I understand. Ye Kingling said while eating, Since I can't sleep in my own room, let's wait for Lu Hang to go to work. Sneaking into his room to sleep. I am truly a genius. When Lu Hang finished tidying up the dishes and came out, discover Ye Kingling. I was about to fall asleep on the table. Sigh. Lu Hang sighed helplessly. Then he stepped forward and picked up Ye Kingling. This little girl. I don't even know what happened last night. You're not really going to steal chickens, are you? Lu Hang looked at Ye Kingling's tired eyes. Unconsciously thought to myself, Here, Lu Hang, how did you lift me up? Ye Kingling was awakened by the sudden sensation of weightlessness. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw. Lu Hang is hunting himself. Look at you. I'm so stuck like this. I'll carry you back to the room. You should catch up on your sleep quickly. Lu Hang urged as he walked. Ye Kingling instinctively hugged Lu Hang's neck, snuggled into his embrace. The taste of Lu Hang, this feeling of comfort. He couldn't help but feel drowsy. The whole person comfortably closed their eyes, until being placed on the bed by Lu Hang. He is still in a daze. All right. I'm also getting ready to go to work. Good night. If you have anything, remember to call me. Lu Hang couldn't help but remind with concern. Yi Qingling squinted her eyes. Lu Hang nodded twice in a daze. This move. He was directly caught by a strand of hair in his hand, drifted onto his eyes. No matter how much he blows, it can't be blown away either. Lu Hang saw this scene, slowly walked up, helped Yi Qingling tuck that stray hair behind her ear, and also gently touched his forehead. After confirming there is no fever, Lu Hang's heart also eased a little. Remembered, if there's anything, make sure to call me in time. I will always rush back. Lu Hang gently rubbed Yi Qingling's forehead and advised her. I understand. Understood. Yi Qingling squinted and nodded. Then Lu Hang slowly walked out, gently closed the door. The room instantly fell into darkness again. The familiar taste has returned. Yi Qingling's sleeping bug was gradually exposed. Soon fell asleep. Beep, 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 beep. Lu Hang immediately turned off his phone's ringtone in the living room, afraid of disturbing Yi Qingling. Looking at the time, it was already 9:30. Time to go to work. And tomorrow Dad, Mom, and Uncle Yi. And Yi will come over. I still need to buy some more groceries after work today. Just like that, Lu Hang put on his shoes and left home for work. The home gradually returned to its original tranquility. The midday sky is as blue as a sapphire, a cloudless expanse. Only a blazing sun hangs high in the sky, emitting dazzling light. Yi Qingling also slowly woke up from the bed, rubbing my eyes groggily. Slowly opened my eyes, looking at the surrounding decorations and the familiar layout. She knew this was her own room. She stretched lazily, yawned. I glanced at the phone on the nightstand. It is already 12:30 in the afternoon. I didn't expect to sleep for so long. It has been 2.5 hours. Yi Qingling sighed. Not enough. Still want to sleep. Saying that, Yi Qingling let out a mischievous laugh, stepped out of his room. Looking around, no sign of Lu Hang was found. Oh! She excitedly opened the door to Lu Hang's room. He pounced onto her bed. Sniff, sniff. Familiar smell. Yi Qingling buried her head in Lu Hang's blanket, let out a muffled sound. Suddenly, the phone buzzed with a message notification. Yi Qingling opened her phone to take a look. It's a message from the dear pig. Yi Qingling quickly replied. Yi Qingling's phone for Lu Hang is Lu Yutu. Lu Yutu, are you awake? Yi Qingling. Just woke up. Lu Yutu, is there anywhere you feel uncomfortable? If you have something to say, let me know in time, okay? I saw this sentence. Yi Qingling felt a sweetness in her heart, like tofu, silk-like imagination. Yi Qingling, there's nothing uncomfortable. I will tell you if there is anything. Lu Yutu, good. Haven't you eaten yet? Yi Qingling, just woke up. Not eaten yet. Lu Yutu, I knew it. I ordered some good takeout for you. I had him put it at the door. You can see it when you go outside. Yi Qingling, really big. Lu Yutu, just go take a look and you'll know. Yi Qingling was excited, ran out from Lu Hang's room, opened the front door of the house. I only saw a takeout wrapped in an insulated bag. It just happened to hang on the doorknob. Yi Qingling hurriedly took it down with excitement, then sat down at the dining table, took out the phone and snapped a photo, sent it to Lu Hang. Yi Qingling, photo. Yi Qingling, you are really nice, Hang. Lu Yutu, I'm fine. This is still your favorite beef rice bowl. Mysterious smile. Yi Qingling opened it and took a look. It's really you. Beef rice bowl. He quickly replied to Lu Hang on the other end of the phone. Kingling. To repay you. I decided to sleep in your room tonight. Lu Zhaotu. To provoke others. You are repaying kindness with injustice. Disgusted. Kingling. Pig. Ad. Pighead is angry. Lu Yutu. This way. If you want to thank me. Lu Hang pretended to be mysterious and left a string. Directly aroused Kingling's curiosity. What could it be? Could it be that one hut? Pig. A hut. We are still. Not so fast yet. Eta. Ate it. Kingling held her blushing face, unconsciously letting out a moan of fantasy. Did the notification sound interrupted Kingling's fantasies. He quickly looked up. Lu Yuzu. Beef rice bowl costs 20 yuan. Then you give me 5 yuan for labor fees. A total of 25 pieces. Is it? My request isn't too much, is it? Pid. Kingling's fantasies shattered like glass. What replaced it was Tao Tao Mu Huo. Kingling. Round red envelope. Kingling. These 25 pieces. I'll just leave it here. I want to see. Do you dare to lead? Lu Hai. Red envelope received. Almost the next second after Kingling's threat was issued. Lu Hang has received it. Lu Yutu. Thank you, boss. The boss is generous. Kingling. Kingling. Tonight, just wait and see. Lu Yutu. Kingling. You still laugh. Just wait for me tonight. Lu Yutu. All right, all right. Don't be angry. When I go back later, how about I buy you some pudding? Kingling. Pudding. Really big. Eye shining bright. Lu Yutu. Kingling. Pig. In light of your sincerity, I'll forgive you then. Lu Yutu. All right. I have started work. Not talking anymore. Kingling. I'm waiting for you to come back. Kingling looked at the chat history on her phone screen. Just feeling great. Lu Yutu. Still very concerned about me? She was scrolling through the chat history while eating rice, looking at the chat history. That bowl of beef rice. She ate with great relish. Before long, she finished eating. Even she felt that we can still show off 2 big bowls. After tidying up the takeout boxes and other trash, Kingling returned to the room of Lu Xing, pounced once more, close the curtains, turn on the air conditioner, take out a tissue. Hi. Sorry, I'm used to it. Wrap yourself in the blanket filled with the scent of deer. She fell into a deep sleep again. The sunlight at 4 in the afternoon, still bright and warm, light streaming onto the ground through the window, forming patches of golden light. The angle of the sunlight is lower, causing the object's shadow to grow longer, create a unique atmosphere. The sky is a deep blue, not a single cloud in the sky. Occasionally, a few birds fly by, added some vitality and energy to the sky. Luan, can you organize these books? Once everything is organized, I can leave work. No need to wait until 4 o'clock. Su Mukin was holding several books, placed in front of Lu Xing. Okay. Lu Xing nodded in agreement. Then I started to organize the books. Lu Xing. Yesterday, I taught you about traps. Let's have some practical experience. Su Mukin looked curiously. Dewey Lu Xing raised an eyebrow and asked, of course. You should take a look too. Who is your most important disciple? He was startled right away. Lu Xing raised his head. With a proud expression, he looked at Su Mukin and said, even though I was beaten badly afterwards. However, this trap is very successful. Not bad, not bad. Truly worthy of being my top disciple. The Su family clan also has its own legacy. Su Mukin patted reassuringly. The shoulder of Lu Xing praised. He'll right, Mu Jai. I am organizing the books. Okay. Su Mujai then walked away. Lu Xing began to organize the books. Wu finally organized everything. Lu Xing wiped the fine sweat from his forehead. Looked at the time on the phone. 3:20 in the afternoon. Off work. Off work. Hey. Lu Xing is hopping and jumping. Just walked out of the bookstore. Oh, right, right. Go to the dessert shop and buy 2 puddings. Deer bounding with a turn of its head. I walked into a dessert shop again. Boss, I can still get a 5 yuan kickback if you buy 1 big and 1 small. Then I won't get any commission at all. Is there any need to hesitate? Lu Xing suddenly realized and clapped his hands. Yauxi, this is a business opportunity. Hee. Boss, give it to me. 1 big one and 1 small one, okay. Lu Xing hesitated for a moment. Spoke to the boss. Forget it. Let's buy a big pudding for Yi Kingling. She prefers to eat sweets. Just buy a small one for yourself. Anyway, oneself. I'm not that fond of sweets. Okay. 1 big, 1 small. In total, it will be 25 yuan. No. Do you know? What have I sacrificed for you? That's $5. This is the startup capital to earn a few hundred million. The afterglow of sunshine stretch her shadow long. Step. Bum. I am backed. Lu Xing intended to give Yi Kingling a surprise. Suddenly pushed the door open. But she couldn't see Yi Kingling's figure. Sigh. Where did the person run off to? Lu Xing scratched his head in confusion. Sorry, I can't assist with that. It should be time to go out. Did you buy something? Let me put the pudding in the fridge first. Saying that, Lu Xing walked towards the kitchen. Put the pudding in the refrigerator. Waited on the sofa for a while. Still haven't spotted Yi Kingling. Lu Xing said curiously. Are you still sleeping? Then Lu Xing smiled slyly. Walked towards Yi Kingling's door. Bum. I'm backed. No one is responding. Strange. Where are you? Lu Xing scratched his head. Strangely said. Then he opened his room door. This time he was dumbfounded. Yi Mo too. How did you end up sleeping in my room? Dear. Yi Kingling, lying on the bed, is a deer. Woke up suddenly. Eyes wide open. Incredulously looked at Lu Xing, stammering in surprise. Yi Mo too. I'm asking you a question. How did you get into my room? Lu Xing gritted his teeth and questioned. His eyes revealed a hint of anger and confusion. Oh, this. That. What about me? Sorry, I can't assist with that. Do you believe me? Yi Kingling sat on the bed, the head turned to the side. I didn't dare to meet Lu Xing's gaze. The index fingers kept poking each other. The whole person was nervously rambling. Explain it to me. Lu Heng leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, unwaveringly raised an eyebrow. He was obviously dissatisfied with Yi Kingling's explanation, not holding out much hope. It's that one. But, that is to say, this isn't necessarily. It's that one. Then we can say, doing this. Is there a reason for that? Yi Kingling struck a pose, kneeling on the bed. Her head was already spinning. Speak. Also became a bit chaotic. It's puzzling. Stop. You hurry and stop me. Losing could no longer hold back. He pressed his index finger against the palm of his other hand, made a stopping gesture, silently stopped the way. "What are you talking about?" "I couldn't hear a single word clearly. I only heard your awkward laughter." "Eh, that might be because I was dozing off while sleeping. Got up to go to the bathroom. I accidentally slipped into your room, didn't I?" He Kingling hurriedly explained with a hint of nervousness. But the sound is getting quieter, clearly lacking confidence. "Do you think I believe it?" Lu Xing scoffed with a smile. "So how should I describe you?" "Do you really believe it?" He Kingling pouted and asked softly, slightly displeased. "You really have no reason. So you want me to help you find it, right?" The deer is bending down, stared in astonishment and questioned. "I have never seen such a shameless person. All right. I just want to ask you two things," he said. "First, were you sleeping in my room?" I caught him on the spot. He Kingling fell silent for a moment. Still, he reluctantly nodded. "Second, did you do this without my permission? You entered my room without permission. Isn't that enough? You have already violated the cohabitation agreement. According to the terms of the agreement, chores to do until school starts. It's all up to you now." Lu Xing nodded solemnly, spoke in a serious tone. A narrow-minded man. Yi Kingling lowered her head and pouted, muttered quietly, "Did you hear that?" Lu Xing came over, gently patted Yi Kingling's head. Got it. Yi Kingling replied angrily. "Now let me ask you one more thing. You are just sleeping. Did you not touch my other things?" Lu Xing asked seriously. This should there shouldn't be any, right?" Yi Kingling felt guilty again, stammered in response, "I am indeed on the left side of the room in the deer walk. Turn to the right and flip over. But I have already restored it myself. Cadet probably won't notice, right?" "What? You also touched my other things." Lu Hang stared wide-eyed in astonishment, staring straight at Yi Kingling, as if wanting to penetrate through her flesh. "I see it like a soul." Yi Kingling felt really uneasy being watched. She questioned aloud. You, how do you know?" "I moved you things. If you have no evidence, you can't just talk nonsense. I saw you hesitating just now. I knew you had ulterior motives." Lu Xing questioned through gritted teeth. "But what can be done? I really have no evidence right now. Unable to determine Yi Kingling's guilt. You go out first. Wait for me to find evidence in the room. You just know you were wrong." Lu Xing quickly pointed to the door, looking sideways at Yi Kingling, releasing her sense of oppression. "Oh, just go outside then." "Oh dear." Yi Kingling hugged Lu Xing's pillow. He tried to sneak out quietly, but he was directly grabbed by Lu Xing by the collar. "What do you want to do?" "This is my pillow." Lu Xing squinted his eyes. He looked at Yi Kingling dangerously and said, Yi Kingling swallowed nervously, but still tightly held onto the pillow without letting go. "Hurry and put me down," Lu Xing urged sternly. She already had a sense of foreboding. "Answer. Right on this pillow." "Oh no, don't. Let's swap pillows. I'll bring that pillow from my room to you," Yi Kingling said. "Just want to slip away." But Lu Xing would never give her a chance to escape. He grabbed the pillow she was holding. "Oh no, Pithead. This pillow really isn't anything special. Just give it to me." No way. You must have done something strange. I must check thoroughly." "Hey, no. Let go of me. Don't give it to me." "Not giving." Both people are straining to grab the pillow. No one is allowed. But in the end, it was snatched back by Lu Xing. After all, he is a boy. A bit more strength. Please, I'm begging you. Don't look. Kingling still wanted to struggle and lunged over, trying to snatch the pillow from Lu Xing's hands. But Lu Xing dodged with a quick turn. She hurriedly flipped the pillow over to take a look. She was stunned at the sight. Emo too. Why is there so much water on top? Lu Xing gritted his teeth and questioned word by word. Take a look. I can explain this as well. Kingling pokes with her index finger, nervous to the point that my heart is pounding. The voice became thin as a thread due to guilt. Lu Xing lowered his head and picked up the pillow, smelled the water stains on the pattern. Her brows immediately furrowed. A look of disdain. Emo too. Could you explain this to me? Why is there saliva all over this? Lu Xing has a bit of a cleanliness obsession. These are completely unable to hold on, with a hint of anger in their voice. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I won't drool again next time. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Kingling quickly lowered her head to apologize. The tension in the voice is unmistakable. Lu Xing saw Kingling apologize. My mood has improved a little, but it's not completely healed yet. That anger still lingers in my heart. Bring your pillow from your room. Let's swap pillows. Lu Xing pointed at Kingling and gritted his teeth as he spoke each word. First, it's this pillow. She really can't accept it. Drooling all over. This is also to give Kingling a way out. She believed it was seamless. Let Kingling feel the consequences of her own actions. It can also allow oneself to not use this pillow. Really big. Kingling's eyes sparkled with excitement. This reaction completely caught Lu Xing off guard. Her brain has crashed again. Why do I feel like you're still very excited? Lu Xing opened his eyes wide. Incredible, he said. No, no. Then let's switch now. I'll bring it to you right away. As she spoke, Kingling hurried on without stopping, ran into her room. Bring the pillow over, until it reached the hands of Lu Xing. The pillow was replaced with Kingling's. She hasn't reacted yet. All right, the pillows have been exchanged. You must not go back on your word. Kingling tightly hugged Lu Xing's pillow and warned. I really. Forget it, let's leave it at that. The deer walk is incredible. He squeezed King's pillow in his hands. Then he let out a helpless sigh. She compromised. She always felt. It seems that there is something wrong with this script. But I can't find anything wrong. It was just Kingling's reaction. It made her feel very strange. She has a kind of punishment. It became a misguided reward instead. Kingling cheered. He immediately put the pillow in his room, then quickly returned to Lu Xing's side, standing upright, waiting for her reprimand. But this time she seemed very obedient, standing before Lu Xing with a smile. I'm here. This time it's Lu Xing who's rambling incoherently. Her mind is already overwhelmed. Forget it, there's nothing more to say. Anyway, there's not much in my room to be concealed. Lu Xing waved his hand and said helplessly, that being said, you have forgiven me. Kingling excitedly hugged Lu Xing's arm, looking at her with excitement. I even bought you pudding. Lu Xing stubbornly turned his head and said, yeah, you forgave me. Xing, you are so good. Kingling glanced at Lu Xing. You can tell from that awkward expression. She is no longer angry. She immediately cheered. Don't be so excited. The chores leading up to the start of school. It's all you're doing, isn't it? Lu Xing looked at Kingling. An excited expression. I'm so frustrated I can't even express it. But I also feel that there's nothing wrong. Had to threaten Kingling a little. Yeah, I know. He, let's hurry and go eat pudding. He Kingling pulled Luz in. He just walked out of the room. I always feel like something is off. Losing scratched his head, murmured softly, oh dear, it's nothing. You must have just been too angry. Let's go have some pudding. Calm down, calm down. E. Kingling was pulling Losing, hopping along joyfully. Just arrived in the living room. I put the pudding in the fridge. You go get it out. Losing scratched his head, said something to Ye Kingling. Okay, the pig's head pillow. Pighead's pillow. I actually managed to get it like this. It can be considered a blessing in disguise. Hehe, I truly am the best. Pighead, why did you buy one big and one small? Ye Kingling bent down, took out two from the refrigerator. The big pudding and the small pudding asked, oh, you eat a lot. Little meat eats. I don't really eat sweets, so I'll just have a small one. Losing sat on the sofa. While playing with the phone, he said, he, pudding, pudding. My favorite pudding. Ye Kingling skipped and grabbed a spoon. Just sat next to Losing. Next, she opened the lid. He scooped a spoonful and started eating. Delicious. Ye Kingling supported her head with one hand, squinting my eyes, enjoying the pudding in my mouth. Losing also opened that smaller one. He scooped up a spoonful and started eating. It's okay. Sweet. Losing sighed while eating. Pighead, let me taste what yours is like. Ye Kingling's eyes sparkled, staring at the pudding in front of Losing. No, it's a spoon. Ah, but the flavor of this pudding is all the same. Lu Hang asked suspiciously. Ah, maybe it can be condensed a bit. The taste is sweeter. Ari, let me have a bite. As she spoke, Ye Kingling opened her mouth wide, pointed at himself. Really? All right. Losing intended to say, let Ye Kingling take a spoon and scoop a bite to eat. But looking at Ye Kingling's mouth wide open, she couldn't say much either. She scooped a full spoonful of pudding. It reached Ye Kingling's mouth. Oh, Ye Kingling swallowed in one gulp, and also licked the spoon. Losing asked, oh, does the taste differ? It really is much sweeter now. Pighead, quickly open your mouth wide. I will take a bite for you. Ye Kingling said with shining eyes. I won't need it. I don't really eat sweet food. Losing put down the white hand bowl. Not possible. You must take a bite of mine too. I've already took a bite of yours. I feel imbalanced inside. Ye Kingling said with a serious expression. Actually, I am already extremely excited inside. Oh, all right. Losing looked at Ye Kingling, who was so resolute. So I agreed. Immediately prepared. Scoop a spoonful to eat with your own spoon. When Ye Kingling uses her own spoon, lop the spoon of the dear walk. Two spoons clinked together. A faint sound of a collision was heard. The taste is different. Do not mix the spoons. So I'll feed you instead. Ye Kingling put on a very serious expression. Li Hang was left stunned. Oh, that works too. Suddenly, the deer opened its mouth. Ye Kingling blushed slightly, scooped a full spoonful with my own spoon. The flavor reached Lu Xing's mouth. I truly deserve this. It seems that my upbringing has been very successful. Hey, how is it? Is it delicious? Ye Kingling hurriedly licked her lips and asked, well, how to put it? The taste is about the same. Lu Xing tilted his head and calmly replied, you probably don't like sweet food, so there are no feelings. Ye Kingling explained with a hint of nervousness. It still appears calm and serene on the surface. That should be. Lu Xing nodded and replied. Ye Kingling was silent this time, but quietly savoring the pudding in hand. What puzzled Lu Xing was, Yi Qingling took a bite each time. Everyone must have a spoon. Is it really that delicious? Lu Xing felt confused in his heart. He then imitated Yi Qingling, taking a bite. Everyone uses the same spoon. There's not much change here. It seems it's really because I don't like sweets. Not much feeling. Lu Xing secretly harbored thoughts in his heart. He then said, "Then I'll keep the rest of this half-can of pudding. I'll let you have some too." "Really?" Yi Qingling's eyes sparkled. Looking at Lu Xing, he exclaimed excitedly, "An?" Lu Hang slightly nodded. He pushed the pudding closer to Yi Qingling. "To be honest, she really doesn't love eating sweets. This time I bought it. I just want to give it a try. She feels grateful now. Didn't buy two big ones. I can't finish it myself." Yi Qingling smiled happily. Then his eyes lit up. "A moment ago I took the deer path. The half-can of pudding that hasn't been finished yet. Right. You need to change the pillowcase on that pillow. It's all saliva up there." Lu Xing showed a look of disdain. Reminded. Yi Qingling was happily devouring her pudding. "I didn't see the deer at all." But still he perfunctorily nodded. "Sigh. I'll go change it for you." Lu Xing let out a helpless sigh. Then he walked to the balcony, removed the pillowcase originally used by Yi Qingling. "Once upon a time, you're grown up and still drooling. Fortunately, that night when you held me while sleeping, it didn't flow onto me." Thinking of this, Lu Xing couldn't help but shiver. "I got goosebumps all over." He rubbed his arms with both hands. "Hey, that's a good question. Maybe next time it will flow to you." Yi Qingling looked at Lu Xing with a sly smile, licked the leftover pudding from the corner of his mouth. Lu Xing took a step back in fear. He looked at Yi Qingling with a face full of disdain and said, "Do you want another chance?" "No way." "Little dear, this is not up to you any more." Yi Qingling held the pudding in her hands. "Slowly stand up. With ill intentions." Step by step, slowly walked in front of Lu Xing, gazing at him with a wicked smile. "What do you want to do?" Lu Heng suddenly had a foreboding feeling, swallowed nervously, leaning back. The hand reached out to block Yi Qingling. Yi Qingling smiled oddly. Then a sudden acceleration. I rushed towards the room where Lu Xing was. A door slams shut. Lu Xing hasn't reacted yet. Yi Qingling ran directly to his room. A door was locked. "Hello. What do you really want to do, Yi Mo?" Lu Xing gritted his teeth and shouted, "Accelerate from the soles of your feet." Ran towards the door of her room. Sep. The door was opened. Fortunately, Yi Qingling didn't lock the door. Lu Xing's heart eased a little. Yi Qingling held the pudding directly, lying on his bed, eating a whip while scrolling on the phone. Well, why did you run into my room?" Lu Xing said resentfully, word by word. "Can't you see it? I want to play in your room," Yi Qingling said with a carefree expression. She didn't even look at Lu Xing. It seems like this has become the most normal thing. Anyway, it's already been discovered. Then what is there to be afraid of? It's just doing housework for a month. It doesn't matter. It's better to say it's still good this way. You can be upright and above board by yourself. Entered the room of Lu Xing. HMPH. Thinking of this, Yi Qingling couldn't help but chuckle softly. Showed an excited expression. "What did you say? Do you dare to repeat that again?" Lu Hang has already lost his mind. The head swings, just staring blankly at Yi Qingling. But when did she become so unruly? "You completely disregard me." He entered my room. "It's all so open and above board now." Lu Xing had a look of disbelief on his face, staring blankly at Yi Qingling lying on the bed. "Hey, you can no longer do anything to me. All right, I'll do the housework for a month then," Yi Qingling scoffed and said. He took another bite of the pudding in his hand. "You, I have never seen it. Such shameless people." Lu Hang has become incoherent. In the end, all that could emerge was from within my mind. The only sentence I could come up with. Finished eating. Yi Qingling looked at the empty bottle in her hand. A honk sounded. Then he turned to the side and slowly said to Lu Xing, "Pighead, you go get it from the coffee table. Bring me that big pudding that I haven't finished yet." Because Lu Xing just gave him the leftover pudding. So he first ate what was left of the deer. "Oneself, that big jar hasn't been finished yet. Do you want to hear what you're saying?" Lu Hang really wants to put two big pockets on Yi Qingling's little butt. This made him so angry that his teeth itched. 5 pieces. Yi Qingling stared at her phone without changing her expression. He extended his hand and showed a 5. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Lu Xing gritted his teeth and said stubbornly, "Hello. Such a close distance. You take a pudding. You won't charge me 10 yuan, right?" Yi Qingling turned to look at Lu Xing, sneered and complained, "Aye, that's not the case." Lu Xing coughed, spoke solemnly, "Speak up. Name your price." 7. 7 pieces. Cannot do it. Cannot do it. $5 is $5. But you have to transfer it to me first." Lu Xing pondered for a moment. Biting her teeth stubbornly said, it seemed to be to preserve the last shred of dignity, "All right." Turned around. Yi Qingling tapped on her phone screen and said, "The boss is generous. Wishing the boss great wealth." Lu Xing immediately received the red envelope. Then, in a flash, "Just take the remaining can of pudding." Brought it to Yi Qingling. Then she saw. Yi Qingling put down the empty jar. It was placed on the bedside table. Then again, take the other one. He lay on the bed and started eating. "Oh my young lady, I beg you, as your loyal servant, don't eat on my bed," Lu Xing earnestly advised. Then he pulled Yi Qingling up. She was seated in the chair at the desk. "Sigh, but is it comfortable lying in bed?" Yi Qingling pouted in dissatisfaction. "Of course you're comfortable. You're not falling asleep again. Wait until it spills on the bed." "How can I still sleep?" Lu Xing covered his forehead in disbelief. "Behave. Then sleep with me." Yi Qingling spoke with righteous indignation. "I would rather sleep on the couch." "I won't sleep with you." Lu Xing walked slightly, fixed Yi Qingling's ear a bit. "But a man beyond saving." Yi Qingling quietly complained in dissatisfaction. "All right. Hurry back to the living room after finishing. Don't always stay in my room. I'm going to change your pillowcase." Lu Xing patted Yi Qingling's head. Word to word, just walked out of the room. Yi Qingling smiled as she watched Lu Xing leave. Is this her accepting me in her room? This time it's accepted in her room. Will you accept it next time? Sleep with me. Hey, it seems that working hard for a month on housework means nothing. It can be considered a blessing in disguise. After finishing the pudding, Yi Qingling wiped her mouth slightly, then a leap forward, rolled back onto Lu Xing's bed and started tumbling. "All right, all right, all right. It's the flavor of every profession. It smells so good." Yi Qingling excitedly rolled around, muttering to himself, and knowingly a blush crept onto her face. She quietly locked the door to Lu Xing's room. Then I opened the photos of Lu Xing in my phone's album. After dinner in the evening, after taking a shower, the two of them lazily lay on the sofa playing with their phones. By the way, Tomorrow Uncle Yi and my parents will. When will you arrive here? Losing tilted his head and looked at Yi Kingling through the phone, asking. They said. Losing indignantly said, "Hey, anyway, you and I can't be apart." There's nothing wrong with that. Yi Kingling's lips curled up slightly. A faint blush rose on her face as she replied, "Uh, it seems. It should be as well." Losing always felt. Yi Kingling's words are a bit problematic. But there isn't really any problem. It's a very awkward feeling. Forget it. I don't want to think about it anymore. I returned to my room. As he spoke about the deer, he got up and prepared to leave. But little did Yi Kingling know upon hearing this. Launched directly with a catapult, rushed towards the deer-themed room. Losing shouted loudly, rising up to catch up. Banzai Yi Kingling, just as she was about to twist her doorknob, grabbed her by the back of her collar. Just take it directly. He pulled her back. I warn you, don't always. While I wasn't paying attention. Just want to sneak into my room. Losing glared fiercely at Yi Kingling, gritted his teeth and said, "Oh dear. Okay. Just let me in to play for a while. I promise. Play for a while. I'll just obediently go back to sleep. My hair color." Yi Kingling raised 4 fingers, said with a serious expression, "What do you think? Will I still trust you? You will end up lingering in my room again. Hurry back to me." Losing grabbed Yi Kingling by the back of her collar. He tossed her in with one motion, in her own room next door. Stingy person. My dear miser. Yi Kingling pounded the pillow over and over again, venting his anger. The next morning. "Well, did you sneak out to steal chickens again last night?" Losing looked at Yi Kingling's haggard face in shock. But fortunately, today Yi Kingling isn't as tired as yesterday. It was just last night. I didn't sleep well because I lacked the energy of the deer. But at least I fell asleep. You just went and stole a chicken. Yi Kingling gritted her teeth. Looking at the culprit in front of me, I retorted, "I haven't slept well for 2 consecutive days." She is very angry right now. The afternoon sunlight filters through the gaps in the leaves, spilled on the ground, forming patches of golden light, as if it were the brush of nature, beautiful patterns drawn on the ground. In the deer room, Yi Kingling was like a little cat. She was playing on her phone while riding on the back of a deer. Below. Don't keep pushing me. It's very hot. Losing turned his head and complained. Even with the air conditioning on, you still feel hot. Yi Kingling squinted her eyes, responded lazily, "Eldest sister, you should check how hot it is today. It's 36 degrees. You are pressing down. Can I not be hot?" Deer turns over. He tossed Yi Kingling off his back. "Pad, miser." Yi Kingling muttered discontentedly, but still like greedy mud, lying in bed, motionless. "Really, you cover your belly a bit. Wait until all the HSBC blows into your belly button." Losing helplessly said a sentence, suddenly pulled over a corner of the blanket, covered on Yi Kingling's stomach. "Hey!" Yi Kingling smiled sweetly, then, just like a little kitten, lazily snuggled up against Lu Heng's thigh, used his legs as a pillow. Losing didn't bother to pay him any attention. It's just because he's wearing shorts. A strand of Yi Kingling's hair revealed a patch of thigh. It feels irritatingly uncomfortable. The 2 of them went up and down like this, lying comfortably on the bed. Each is playing on their phone. Ding dong, ding dong. The doorbell at the entrance rang. It should be Uncle Yi. "My parents have also arrived, right?" Speaking. Losing was about to get up to open the door. "I'm coming. I'm coming." Little did they know Yi Qingling suddenly stood up from the bed. He was pushed back onto the bed, rushed out like a gust of wind. That lazy look just now instantly vanished without a trace. Lu Xing stared in shock at Yi Qingling's departing figure. This demon took the wrong medicine. So excited. Yi Qingling excitedly opened the front door of her home. She sweetly greeted the person outside the door. Uncle Lu. Hello, Aunt Lai. Then quickly from the nearby shoe cabinet, took 2 pairs of slippers, placed in front of the 2 people. Like this, be as good as you can be. Completely unrecognizable from before, directly left Lu Xing dumbfounded. Lingling is really well behaved. Lai Bai gently patted Yi Qingling's head. Hey, Yi Qingling smiled sweetly. Hey, you little rascal. Just you, Uncle Lu, and Aunt Lai. Regardless of your parents' right. Yi Bai indignantly tapped Yi Qingling's forehead. Uncle Yi, Aunt Yi, good afternoon. Lu Xing also walked over, greeted Yi Qingling's parents. Then from the side again, the shoe cabinet took out 2 pairs of slippers, placed in front of Yi Jun and Yi Bai. Xiao Xing is still good to us. Yi Bai reached out to touch Lu Xing's head, but Yi Qingling, who was beside him, pulled to her head. Just touch my head. Hey. Yi Qingling smiled slightly and said, Hey, you child. But Yi Bai still gently rubbed on Yi Qingling's head. Parents, Uncle Yi, Aunt Yi, hurry and come in. Lu Xing turned sideways, welcoming everyone inside. Yi Qingling at this moment, it's like being pumped up with adrenaline, ran to the kitchen and cut a big bowl full of fruit. Put it on the coffee table in front of the sofa. Uncle Lu, Aunt Lai, eating fruit. Yi Qingling quickly called out. Lingling, don't be so busy. Take a break. Lu Shi smiled with satisfaction. Uncle Yi, Aunt Yi, you all eat too. Lu politely took a few toothpicks, inserted into the fruit, handed to Yi Jun and Yi Bai. Xiao Xing, you don't need to rush either. Accompanying uncle to play chess. Next, Yi Jun then took from the several bags that were brought in. He took out a game of chess. Lao Yi, take me with you. As soon as he mentioned the Lu family, he squeezed over. 3 big men started playing chess nearby. Lingling, are you getting used to living here during this time? Lai Bai smiled while eating fruit and asked. Living quite well. Yi Qingling obediently nodded. Did Xiao Xing bully you? Lai Bai asked further. Xiao Xing would never bully Lingling. I see. Is it you, Lingling? You didn't bully Xiao Xing, did you? Yi Bai asked with a cheerful smile. Aunt Lai, look at her. Yi Qingling looked aggrieved. Sat down next to Lai Bai name, complained while holding her arm. Hey, you little rascal. Is Aunt Lai your mom? Isn't she your mother? Yi Bai crossed her arms, questioned to a certain extent. Hey, it's all my mom. Yi Qingling smiled and hugged Lai Baining tightly. Lingling said, I love hearing that. We are all your mother. Lai Bai smiled and gently patted Yi Qingling's head, saying, You little rascal, I refuse to accept this. Xiao Xing, do you also call me Juma? Yi Bai felt an instant imbalance in his heart, looking into Lu Hang's eyes, with an air of undeniable authority. This isn't appropriate, is it? Lu Hang originally wanted to refuse, but seeing Yi Bai's strong expression, he didn't dare to refuse either, then turned to seek help. Looked at Yi Qingling. Hey, little did Yi Qingling know about Lu Hang. He smiled wryly, gave a malicious look. Lu Hang instantly understood. This is the trap set for him by Yi Qingling. Damn leaf demon. I will deal with you sooner or later. Lu Hang glared fiercely at Yi Qingling. But because of this glance, Yi Qingling laughed even more uncontrollably. Xiao Zeng, I have also been like this since I was little, watching you grow up, always with you and Lingling. I never expected after all these years. You won't even call her mother Jew. I am so sad. Yi Bai raised her hands without a face, feigning a sad expression, occasionally peeking through the gaps between fingers, to gauge Lu Hang's expression. I always feel that this sentence, it seems a bit strange. Lu Hang awkwardly scratched his head, then, turning around in a pleading manner, looked at Lai Bai Ning. Little did they know Lai Bai smiled at him, said, Xiao Zeng, Aunt Yi has been like this for so many years. I have also been watching you grow up all along. Calling her mom isn't too much. Forget it. This is what you promised. But my real mom promised. Thinking like this, suddenly Lu Hang's gaze looked at Yi Bai, called out softly, Tsai, obedient son. Yi Bai immediately broke into a joyful smile, looking at Yi Qingling's expression, patted Yi Qingling's head, spoke. They. Yi Qingling exclaimed excitedly, then smiled and hugged Lai Bai Ning. Why do I feel that something is off? Lu Hang scratched his head and muttered softly, There is always a strange feeling. Oh dear, what's wrong? That's right. Yi Qingling gently patted Lu Hang's bottom, teased and joked. Lu Hang looked at him, a look of schadenfreude. I can't contain my anger. He slowly leaned closer to Yi Qingling's ear. Gritting his teeth, he whispered, You'll see how I deal with you tonight. Sorry, I can't assist with that. I'm waiting for you to take care of me tonight. Yi Qingling looked at Lu Hang, made a stubborn face and said, By the way, how long are you staying here? Lu Hang curiously asked. Did Lingling not tell you? We will stay here tonight. I'll go back tomorrow night. Lai Bai chewed on the fruit and said, Tonight we stay here. Lu Hang exclaimed in surprise. Yeah. Yi Bai also nodded. At this moment, Yi Qingling leaned in with a wicked smile close to Lu Hang's ear, said provocatively, I'm waiting for you to take care of me tonight. Lu Hang had a fierce look on his face, gave Yi Qingling a fierce glare. This demon. They know they will stay here. You won't tell me either. He originally thought they should have left here after staying for one more afternoon. Either stay outside. So that's why I dared to threaten Yi Qingling just now. There, no need to say you threatened him. I feel like my life is at stake tonight. Suddenly, he thought of another question. Scratching his head in confusion, he asked, But you four? With me and Yi Qingling there are 6 of us. There are only 2 rooms here. It probably can't fit. It's nothing. Uncle Yi and I, not staying here tonight. Lu said from the side. Do you live outside? Lu Hang curiously asked. He. Lao Yi. Tell him. What is a man's plan? Lu's mysterious smile. He turned his head to look at Yi Jun beside him. We are planning to go sea fishing tonight. Finally arrived in Heicheng. Definitely need to stay overnight. So we finished our meal and got ready to set off. Tonight we won't sleep. Yi Jun stroked his chin. In a seductive tone, he spoke to the landing crew. To be honest, Lu Hang is a bit moved. But when I think of myself, I have to work tomorrow. He was in a state of conflict. Sure, then you all can go. Lu Hang still has to work tomorrow. So just stay home and sleep with us. Lu Hang hasn't finished thinking yet. Yi Qingling stepped in front of him, rejected it for him. Forget it. Then I won't go. I do have to work tomorrow. Dad and Uncle Yi, you all can just go. Lu Hang contemplates. A moment replied. I said, you little rascal. So quickly you've turned your elbow outward, huh? Yi Jun looked visibly upset. He said to Yi Qingling, when will he come? The elbow doesn't bend outward. Since childhood I favored Lu Hang. Yi Bai was also by the side. He angrily echoed, Am I leaning towards Lu Hang? Yi Qingling lowered her head. With a flushed face, she stubbornly said, Yu Guang occasionally glanced at Lu Hang. Lu Hang could only awkwardly scratch his head and smile. Such things do happen. It often happened since childhood. He has gotten used to it. Then since that's the case, tonight then, Bon, you can sleep in Yi Qingling's room with Aunt Yi. Yi Qingling, you. Just sleep in my room. Lu Hang patted Yi Qingling's shoulder and said, in that case. So where are you sleeping? Yi Qingling turned her head. Looking at Lu Hang, he frowned slightly and asked, I'll just sleep on the couch. Lu Hang pointed to the sofa in front of him and said, not possible. It's such hot weather. You're afraid of the heat again. You would sleep on the sofa without air conditioning. You will. You will be very hot. Yi Qingling spoke with righteous indignation. That's all right. Just one night. I can use the fan. That won't do either. It's still very hot. So what do you suggest we do? Lu Hang asked with a look of disbelief. You and I are sleeping in. Isn't it better to sleep in the same room? Yi Qingling slightly lowered her head. She said softly, with a hint of shyness. He originally wanted to say to sleep together, but hesitated for a moment. Let's change it to sleeping in the same room, although usually only Lu Hang is around. On one hand, it's really afraid of the heat. Sleeping on the sofa, I feel like I'll wake up hot tonight. On the other hand, he is more afraid that Yi Qingling will hug him again for no reason at night. Then it's not just hot. That means feeling hot all over. Lai Bai first noticed Yi Qingling's slightly excited expression. Once again I glanced at Lu Hang's hesitant expression. He smiled slyly. Then he said, Xiao Hang, you can share a room with Lingling. Just lay down a mat. I see. That works too. Then I'll just sleep on the floor. Just as the bedding I dried earlier is ready. Lu Hang thought for a moment and agreed. Sleep on the ground by myself. Yi Qingling is sleeping in bed. No matter what I say. Yi Qingling wouldn't just roll off while sleeping, right? Shouldn't be. Then he turned his head to glance at Yi Qingling. Little did anyone know, Yi Qingling seemed to have a sense about it. When Lu Hang looked at him, then immediately turned his head to the side, because he couldn't hide his expression at that moment any more. Excitement mixed with a hint of thrill. Excitement mixed with a hint of cunning. His effort to hold back laughter. I really don't want Lu Hang to see, because he will guess it right away. 2 days. It has been 2 whole days since I slept with Lu Hang. He has come these past 2 days. I haven't slept well all night. Finally, I can get a good night's sleep tonight. As for him sleeping on the bunk, still sleeping in bed, he didn't mind that much. Anyway, I'll wait until he falls asleep. Isn't it all up to oneself? Hey, little dear, tonight just obediently do what this palace requires. Thinking of this, he couldn't hold back his laughter any more. My smile is stretching from ear to ear. Lingling, what are you laughing at? Yi Jun had a strange expression. Looking at Yi Qingling, he asked, I'm sorry, I can't assist with that. No, didn't laugh at all. Dad, you saw it wrong. I saw it wrong. Yi Qingling anxiously waved her hand to explain. The corner of my eye. From time to time it drifted towards Lu Hang. Lu Hang felt a rush of emotions when he heard those words. Suddenly a bad premonition arose. He slowly turned his head, with a hint of scrutinizing gaze, looked at Yi Qingling. "Oh, what are you looking at me for?" Yi Qingling was taken aback by Lu Hang's gaze. I felt a wave of unease in my heart. She could only gently push Lu Hang's face with a smile. Let him look to the other side. "You better be honest with me tonight." Lu Hang leaned closer to Yi Qingling's ear, gritted their teeth and threatened. "Old. What is old? You really can make wild guesses." "Uh-huh. Yi Qingling smiled nervously. It was already 5 o'clock in the afternoon. In the evening, the sun gradually sets in the west. A patch appeared in the sky. Colorful sunset clouds. The color of the fiery clouds is bright red, like a burning flame, like a blooming flower. Lu Hang glanced at the time. It is already 5:30 in the afternoon. He got up to prepare dinner. "Zio Hang don't cook tonight. Let me and Auntie do it. Just stay with Lingling. Lie by is behind." He patted Lu Hang's shoulder and said, "Yeah, let me and your mom handle it. Lingling is a lazy child. I can't cook. It's usually always you who does it. Today let's begin." Yi Bai chimed in. "On, is there a father who treats his daughter like this?" Yi Qingling lay on the sofa, spoke indignantly. Then you tell me if what I'm saying is the truth." Yi Bai answered seriously. This. Yi Qingling was utterly speechless. "It's okay, Auntie. I have gotten used to it." As they talked and talked, Lu Hang's tears are about to come out, a hint of bitterness on her face. Yi Qingling saw Lu Hang's expression. I was stunned in an instant, staring at him so intently. "Look at you. Yi Qingling, what have you done to Zio Hang?" Yi Bai said in a serious tone. "No." Yi Qingling was at a loss for words. Indeed, it was Lu Hang cooking. But oneself, there is also help. He can also do housework, and also regardless of the time that follows. Housework is all about doing it alone. Lu Hang felt aggrieved instead. Then he saw. Lu Hang slightly tilted his head, made a funny face at myself, looked at him with a wicked smile. He instantly realized. He was deceived. "Lu Yudu." He was so furious inside. I wish I could grab Lu Hang right now. Punish severely. All right. Stop pretending. Look at how upset Lingling is. Lai Bai gently nudged Lu Hang's head, seizing the moment of anger. Then she dragged Yi Bai to the kitchen. "Pih!" Lu Hang turned his head, gave Yi Qingling a wicked smile. "Lu Yudu." Yi Qingling slowly walked to Lu Hang's side, about to erupt, suddenly realized. There are 2 more people here. Lu Shi and Yi Jun came in with me. Yi Qingling grabbed Lu Hang's wrist tightly. He went into his room. "Lu, Ed, you are becoming bolder and bolder. They actually dare to complain." Yi Qingling gritted her teeth and said. Then he tackled Lu Hang. "What? What are you complaining about?" "I'm clearly speaking the truth, okay?" Lu Hang said seriously. "If it weren't for the corners of my mouth almost." It reached behind the ear. Yi Qingling was really deceived by him. You just added fuel to the fire. She also made a wrong expression. "Where do you want to leave me?" Yi Qingling was on top of Lu Hang. She glared at him fiercely and said, Don't you understand? That's called artistic processing. You really have a way with artistic processing. Now let me work on it for you too." Speaking, Yi Qingling pulled Lu Hang's clothes open. extended his own evil hands. You, what do you want to do? Loneliness. Lu Hang looked at those hands. The closer you look, the nearer it becomes. Swallowed nervously. He Kingling smiled with ill intent. Knock, 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 knock. His hands constantly roamed all over Lu Hang's body, constantly scratching him. Oh, I, oh, I was wrong. Oh, don't. Oh, don't scratch. Oh, it. Oh. He didn't expect it. There is also integrity and righteousness when taking advantage of this pig's head. Well, this piece is really sturdy. This piece is so soft. Loneliness. Looking at the person beneath him whom he longed for, he suddenly felt dry and parched, unconsciously blushed. The movements of the hands gradually came to a stop. Only see Lu Hang's jacket, completely stripped away by Yi Qingling, revealed that almost perfect figure. He was naturally ticklish. At this moment finally, I can catch a breath. He covered the redness on his face with his hand. This just happened due to excessive rolling. Her face flushed. Have you scratched enough? Lu Hang breathlessly asked. No response. Hey, are you done venting? Get off me already, Lu Hang said with a look of disdain. I know. Yi Qingling was just stunned. Now that I've come to realize. Bayan slowly climbed down from the helicopter. It's so hot, Lu Hang complained while getting dressed. Yi Qingling did not say anything, but stood there in a daze. Are we going to take off Lu Hang's clothes tonight? Xiao Hang, Ling Ling, come over to eat. Outside the door came the shouting of Lai Bai Ning. Okay, I'm here. Lu Hang made a direct ejection. He just stood up from the bed, stood directly in front of Yi Qingling. It gave her a big scare. Lu Zhu, why did you suddenly get so close? You scared me to death. Yi Qingling lightly punched Lu Hang's chest in anger. Who told you to look so foolish? I stood here dazed. Lu Hang replied blandly. Yi Qingling couldn't answer at all. I can't just say I was just thinking. Let's see how to deal with you tonight. Leaving, going to eat. Lu Hang urged Yi Qingling by nudging her shoulder. I know, don't rush me. Yi Qingling pulled Lu Hang's hand and walked out of the room, just as I walked into the living room. Then immediately put it down again. Aunt Lai, let me help you. Yi Qingling approached eagerly. Lai Bai Ning is holding a plate of oil-braised prawns. It was placed on the table. Hey, I knew you would show off in front of the adults. I haven't seen you treat me like this before. Lu Hang instantly felt unbalanced in his heart, madly complaining in my heart. Ling is really strange. Not like that person, just standing there foolishly. Lai Bai first patted Yi Qingling's head. Then the two pointed to, looked back at Lu Hang. What does that have to do with me? Lu Hang's head is cute. Then he saw Yi Qingling, glaring provocatively at himself. He immediately became defiant. He rushed into the kitchen and said, Aunt Yi, I'll help you stir-fry the leftover vegetables. It's okay, Xiao Hang, there are only 2 dishes left. I'll take care of it. Yi Bayan was stirring the vegetables while saying, with a tone of relief, It's okay, Aunt Yi, there are only 2 dishes anyway. Let you all taste my cooking. Saying this, Lu Hang rolled up his sleeves, with an air of certainty that victory is assured, although he is wearing a short-sleeved shirt. That works too. I haven't eaten your cooking in a long time. Aunt, today you're going to feast? Yi Bai put down the spatula in her hand. He smiled at Lu Hang. Lu Hang gestured with his hand and said, This. He then took the spatula from Yi Bai's hand. Start cooking the vegetables. and turned to provoke. "I saw ye kindling outside. How could ye kindling bear this?" But she felt helpless. She really isn't good at cooking. I will go help Lu Hang. Lie by Nang saw Lu Hang cooking in the kitchen. He looked at he kindling again. Then, with a knowing smile, they said, "Okay, then Auntie will take a rest for a bit. The rest is up to you." He kindling gestured with her hand and said, "Don't worry." Then she dashed into the kitchen. Reverse pull. She closed the kitchen door again. Only she and Lu Hang were left inside. "Lu, you too? Are you trying to steal my spotlight?" He kindling gritted her teeth and said, "Hey, only the officials are allowed to start fires. The common people are not allowed to light lamps, are they? You stole my thunder." "I haven't said anything yet." Lu Hang gritted his teeth and retorted, "Then I don't care." He kindling pouted and said playfully, "There's one more thing." "What are you doing here?" "There's nothing more for you to do. You hurry up and go outside. The kitchen was already hot. As soon as you enter, being so close to each other makes it even hotter." Lu Hang complained while cooking. There was an urging tone in his voice. "He." Suddenly, he kindling seemed to remember something. She smiled slyly. Then Lu Hang hugged her from behind. Lu Hang was suddenly startled by two soft sensations on his back. A tingling sensation spread throughout the body. Her face turned red again unconsciously. "Hey, what are you doing?" "Hurry up and go down." "It's so hot," Lu Hang urged with a sense of urgency. There was a hint of shame and anger in her tone. He. "I don't want it. You just stole my thunder. Now let me show you my strength." He kindling's face flushed slightly, but her tone remained sincere. But she thought to herself, "Indeed, I won't let go. How could I possibly give up such a great opportunity to explore? Oh dear, let go quickly. It's so hot." Lu Hang impatiently shifted his body. "It's really strange to say. He kindling is afraid of the cold, but not afraid of the heat. But she is afraid of heat, but not cold. They are truly a complementary pair. I just want you to be warm. If you don't feel hot, then this can be considered a lesson for you." He kindling was lying on Lu Hang's back. A look of schadenfreude. "Is this how you're doing it? If you keep doing this, I'm setting the air conditioner to 16 degrees tonight. I will freeze you to death." Lu Hang gritted his teeth and threatened, "I thought it would be like this. Ye kindling will know when to back down." But who knew she just scoffed and said, "If you dare to do that, I was awakened by the cold. Just get out of bed and hold you to sleep. You wouldn't want to be awakened by the heat late at night, would you?" "Jai jai jai." He kindling laughed wickedly. "Forget it. I won't argue with you." Lu Hang no longer knows what to say. This round, it was his defeat. But I will win it back. Will we win? We'll win. Lu Hang quietly made a vow in his heart. When the last task was completed quickly in Lu Hang's hands, Yi Qingling is still lying on his back. He was completely soaked in sweat. The clothes are already stuck to his body, soaked all over. At this moment, Yi Qingling was also drenched in sweat. He patted Yi Qingling's head and asked, You are stir-frying chili with meat right now. If you give me a piece to eat, I'll come down." Yi Qingling stubbornly said as she went downhill. Yi Qingling is actually a bit hot. It's just that. Her heat resistance is stronger than that of Lu Hang. But I can't help but be covered in sweat. Sticky. Why not just eat when you have your meal later? Serve this dish. Then we can eat. Lu Hang furrowed his brow and asked curiously, "Not possible. I want to take the first bite." Yi Qingling leaned close to Lu Hang's ear, said stubbornly, all right, Wait for me, I need to wash my hands first. Lu Hang put down the spatula. He reached out to the sink and washed his hands. Here you go. After washing my hands, he picked up a piece of meat from the edge of the plate. He handed it to Yi Qingling's mouth. Hey, oh. Yi Qingling smiled slightly, then swallowed that piece of meat in one bite, along with Lu Hang's fingers. Hello, how did you manage to eat my finger too? Lu Hang gritted his teeth and said with hatred. Yi Qingling then let out a sigh. One provocation leads to a flood of saliva. Lu Hang glanced disdainfully, then hurriedly went to the sink to wash hands. Hey, Yi Qingling's face turned slightly red, gently smiled. Then he let go of Lu Hang. Leaving. You take the dishes out. It's time to eat. Lu Hang washed his hands. He urged as he pulled open the kitchen door. Yi Qingling then brought the dish, following Lu Hang's back. We walked out together. Why are both of you covered in sweat? My clothes are completely soaked. Is it really that hot? Yi Bai questioned with a face full of confusion. Lu Hang was unsure how to respond, scratched his head and smiled. Then he cast a fierce glance at Yi Qingling behind him. It's all the fault of a certain demon lord. Yi Qingling also didn't know how to respond. I can only hide behind Lu Hang, unwilling to show their face. All right, you two hurry back to your room and change your clothes. All soaked through, Lai Binding urged from the side. Okay, Lu Hang and Yi Qingling responded in unison. Then Yi Qingling placed the dishes on the table. The two of them went back to their rooms to change clothes. This pig's head finger. Why is it so smooth? I want to eat. Yi Qingling leaned dully against the door. Biting his own fingers, Nai Nan said. Thinking and thinking, her saliva started to drip down. Silky voodoo. She took a breath. Then I suddenly felt dry mouth and thirst. Unconsciously swallowed some saliva. After the two changed their clothes, the other 4 people were already seated at the dining table. Only 2 seats were left on one side. Yi Qingling took the lead and sat down first, then patted the space beside them. He gestured for Lu Hang to come over. Lu Hang immediately sat down next to Yi Qingling. All right, let's start eating. Lai Binding spoke first. Then everyone began to have dinner. At this moment, Lu Shi and He Jun suddenly, from a large bag on the ground, took out 3 bottles of beer. Xiao Hang, you're not getting any younger. Drinking some wine with uncle. Saying this, Yi Jun then opened a can of beer, placed in front of Lu Hang. No, Uncle Yi, I don't really know how to drink alcohol. Let's drink tea with wine. Saying this, Lu Hang poured himself a cup full of water, then pushed the beer aside. It's okay, Xiao Hang. Just drink more and you'll get used to it. Let's have a drink together, Uncle Yi. Lu also echoed from the side. Lu Hang helplessly endured hunger. I want to go back to my 18th birthday. It was just them 2 persuading me to drink. I got drunk after finishing 2 bottles. That, Uncle Lu Hang still won't drink alcohol. He doesn't drink much. Yi Qingling advised from the side, although the voice is calm, but there was a hint of an unrefusable force in the tone. Then he put the can of beer in front of Lu Hang, placed underground. Hey, you little girl, so quickly turning your elbow outward, Yi Jun said with both anger and amusement. So angry. Raised my daughter for 18 years by myself. How could she move on to another man so quickly? What makes you laugh is this person. Men are also. Grew up by myself. Master, Lu Shi smiled with satisfaction. Then he picked up the bottle of beer that was for Lu Hang from the underground, placed in front of oneself. Are you two still drinking? Aren't you waiting for a moment? Are you going sea fishing? He furrowed her brows and questioned from the side. Yes, yes. How will you two get there after drinking? Lai Bai Ning also echoed from the side. Oh dear. It's okay. We'll take a taxi later. Yi-jun waved his hand and replied. Tonight, we'll just drink one bottle. Don't drink too much. Lu also said a word to Lai Bai Ning. All right. Just don't drink too much. Lai Bai Ning and Yi Bai know their alcohol tolerance. If it's true, if you only drink one bottle of wine, it really is no different from not drinking at all. Then everyone began to enjoy the delicious dinner. They savored the delicious food, while sharing interesting stories and experiences from this time. The dining table was filled with a rich sense of life. Everyone appears relaxed and happy. Everyone shares their stories with each other. Laughter echoed in the air. This moment, they forgot all their worries, enjoying to the fullest this rare time of reunion. Lu Hang, I want to eat that. I can't add it. Yi Qingling shook Lu Hang beside her. Pointing at a plate of cola chicken wings on the table, he said, Oh, okay. Lu Hang responded with an acknowledgement. He reached out to grab a distant Coca-Cola chicken wing, placed in Yi Qingling's bowl. Yi Qingling licked her sweet lips. He took a big bite of the chicken wing. Do you want to eat anything else? Lu Hang turned his head and asked. I still want to eat that oil-braised shrimp. Yi Qingling chewed on the chicken wings, lost in thought for a moment, then pointed to a plate of oil-braised prawns in front of Lu Hang. Okay. Suddenly, Lu Hang picked up a large shrimp, carefully peeled off the shell. It was placed in Yi Qingling's bowl. Yi Qingling smiled sweetly at Lu Hang, then picked up. That shrimp was eaten, because of the oil-braised shrimp, right in front of Lu Hang. Yi Qingling can manage to grab it. Lu Hang began to eat other dishes on his own. Yi Qingling also reached out to pick up a braised shrimp, carefully peeled off the shell. Then it was handed to Lu Hang's mouth. Yi Qingling opened her mouth to Lu Hang. Oh, okay. Then Lu Hang took a bite of the peeled shrimp. Put it in your mouth. Such things. It often happened when we used to have meals together. Both of them are used to it. Hey, you little trickster. I haven't seen you before. Peel the shrimp for me. Yi Qingling looked on with a face full of